It's been so long since you smiled. Tell me where you left an empty child. Oh, let's have a feast on those who least expected this. The time is now, I swear we won't regret. Won't regret it. To the light, I got tunnel vision signs. I got higher than I like, too pretentious to rectify. Looking back, I know you tried. No, but does it still possess your life? Let's go out and get electric one more time. Everything in the world could be as we left it.
got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're gonna lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane, press and hold your reset button, and we'll come and get you.
Coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Aloma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett Lowe. 4 wide at the stripe. For all he's worth here on this outside line, neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron, drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
Welcome everybody to South Boston Speedway here for the Top Split iRacing National Series, the official series here on the iRacing's service here being provided to you tonight by the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. It's a pleasure to bring you this action. 60 laps here under the lights. It's going to be about roughly 15 to 20 minute race here for tonight, and bringing you this action would be me, the one and only Gary Weaver, bringing you this solo as per usual here on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. Welcome. It's a pleasure again to have you tune in here for tonight's event. Qualifying is currently underway with about 3 or so minutes left in qualifying, so it's going to be quite some time before we surely get underway. But well, I ran actually just before this race. Ran in the previous iRacing National Series event. It was not exactly chaotic, but also was kind of chaotic, so it's going to be a little bit weird. Just as a little bit of a side note, it's going to be weird when it comes to replays for tonight. So we may or may not show replays. It depends on how quickly the action happens, to be quite honest, but it's going to be really, really fun regardless of what happens. It's going to be 60 laps, at least 23 drivers here for tonight in this top split. Not seeing any familiar names as of yet as I'm looking down the order, so might be seeing essentially an entirely new top split here for today. So pretty sure some of the regular drivers that race around this time, that have raced around this time for the past couple of weeks, have decided, you know what, this might be a drop week. And I personally do not blame them a single bit. We'll see. Looks like right now, as we bring up your timing tower, pretty much everybody has already put in a lap time at this point. The entire top 19 have put in a lap time. The other 4 drivers of this grid have not put in a lap time. So really, qualifying is immediately over. And, well, at this point, it's more predictions on really how long you think this field is going to last. You have a 1 in 60 chance essentially in guessing when the field is going to crash. There are going to be a couple of big incidents. Maybe those might get the replays aside from lone spins. So we may not replay lone spins. It depends. If we catch it, then we will show. Then we won't be showing a replay. It entirely depends, really, for tonight. Tonight's going to be chaotic no matter what. So it's going to be chaotic pretty much for the drivers, not only the drivers, but also me in terms of production on deciding when exactly I'm going to be doing things. So if something is missed, well, apologies for that ahead of time. You never really know with South Boston. It's going to be pretty much like Bristol in a sense. So at this point, I'll take the opportunity to say, if you're interested in sponsoring the Racing Line Broadcasting Network, you can go ahead and do so at the link on the top of your screen at facebook.com/Racing Line Broadcasting Network. You can get an advertisement slot for $25 per race, essentially. So that's going to be either pretty much of your choice at the beginning and ending of the broadcast, at the halfway point of the broadcast for the final lap of the race, at the halfway point of the race, which I believe I've already mentioned. So it's entirely up to you. So if you're interested, again, go ahead, facebook.com/Racing Line Broadcasting Network. And now it is time for your starting grid here for tonight's event. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lineup for you. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, your starting grid is as follows. Apparently not sorting incorrectly, but sorting correctly, but we shall see. Starting in the front row, it's going to be Nick Del Campo. Spencer Burns on his outside starts in the second place position. Starting in third place, it's going to be Eric. Actually, it's not going to be third place. Starting in third place actually will be Eric Ramirez. Spencer Dickinson starts off in P4. Rounding out the top 5 will be the 3 of Alex Bisson. Michael Osteig starts off in P6. P7 is going to be Jay Davison. P8 going to be Eric Miller. Ninth place is going to be Joe Schwetmer, I believe is how it's pronounced. and Luke Ashton Jones will round out the top 10. Starting in 11th, in the number 11 will be Matt Kingston. 12th place, Joshua McClune. 13th going to be Justin Gladhill. 14th, Charles Evans. 15th, Marco Pereira. 16th going to be Cody Voigt. Austin Budka, Jeffrey Leiden, Dave Nadu, Jeremy Rose, Matthew Correa, Chris Terrio, and Mike Klein round out your field here for tonight. So there's one of two pace laps, and the anticipation, and I'm pretty sure even the a little bit of nerves for some of these drivers are starting to ramp up just a little bit, ever so slightly. Well, the first pace lap is complete, and this time by, the pace car will not be back out on track for the rest of the event. No cautions for 60 laps. It's essentially a survival race here at South Boston. Get the popcorn ready because you might need it here. It's going to be, for sure, a very, truly wild race. We're going short track racing at South Boston as the green flag flies. We're underway. And just like that, it's immediately sorted out throughout the field as the scoring sorts itself out as well. We'll get that up in a few moments. And already Spencer Burns looking to get right up to the front of the field. He tries to go to the inside and nothing doing just yet, although he does get a nose on the inside. So that means this time by it's going to be a battle for the lead. Maybe not, it depends. We'll see. Side-by-side drag race off the starting corner, and as we rode on board with Spencer Burns, he got loose off turn 4. He is absolutely pushing the car early on. He is not letting that lead go too quickly. Side-by-side for about 6th place rather, between Jay Davison and Alex Bisson. But Bisson is not going to be able to hang on to it. Actually, it's going to be the number 6 that doesn't hang on to it, but he does actually off turn number 2. He was a bit sideways, but he just manages to hold on. Luckily for the time being, no major wrecks as of yet, and I spoke too soon. Somebody had a spin in the back. I believe it was number 10, and somebody else must have made contact, but luckily for now, everyone does manage to hang on for the time being, and I think this is going to be the best camera angle for quite some time, especially with us looking throughout the entire field for the time being. It's a crash off on the front straightaway, and we'll take a quick replay look here to see what exactly happened here off turn number 2. It was essentially a very quick spin as we again take a look. The 18 slides up, makes contact with the 21, and it's a quick double spin for those two off of turn number 4. So go back live to your pictures as soon as we can, which is pretty much right about now. So back live here, looking at live pictures, and already it's going to be Nick Del Campo coming up on a little bit of lap traffic in a couple of laps. Here at South Boston, depending on how hard you want to push the car, well, it depends. You might wear down the right front. We'll see. And a few drivers making a little bit of contact. That's somebody down on the inside lane. That's the number 11, to Matt Kingston. And you see there, he is heavily damaged on the left-hand side. These drivers do have one faster pair available to them. So luckily for the time being, he looks like he's going to be saving that one faster pair. Eric Ramirez, and Jay Davison side by side. Remember, Davison got loose off turn 4 right here just a few laps ago, but he hangs on to it this time by. It's a lone spin on the front straightaway. Not sure who that is. That's the 18 of Dave Nadeau. And he's trying to find some way to get back around, but he really doesn't have an opportunity. There are cars consistently all over the racetrack. Dave Nadeau might have to take a tow at this point, or maybe, I was going to say maybe reverse. Maybe just reverse it down the front straightaway. That's going to be the best option. Yeah, he's going to slowly reverse. We're going to zoom out the camera here. But he is, well, maybe not. He might decide to take a tow. I'm pretty sure he has no idea what to do at this point. He might have to risk going backwards on the racetrack. We don't really know. The 18 currently still stuck 2 laps down, and at this point 3 laps down now. Del Campo continues to make the rounds across the racetrack, but regardless, a little bit of a quick side-by-side battle between the 8 and the 20. I think Nadeau may have taken a tow. He has. And a little bit of a bump there between the 23 and the 11, but the 8 and the 20 were battling for P13 there off turn number 2, and Nadeau has taken a tow. And that's the not-so-fun part about South Boston, is that once you get spun around, you really can't go anywhere, and you're pretty much stuck, as Nadeau had unfortunately shown right there. Alex Bisson continues to run in second place, but Spencer Burns and Del Campo still second and first regardless right now. And they are coming up on some lap traffic. This is not going to help out either of these drivers. We'll see how they fare here. They're coming up on many lap cars here. Halfway point and a quick break will be double wide break here at the halfway point of this race at lap 30. We'll try and keep you with your action visually here, and we'll get a lower third up so you know which driver we're looking at and what position they are in. But for the time being, Del Campo goes to the inside. Burns follows through. That's on the inside of 21 of Cody Voigt. They're going to be 3 wide, just nearly there off of turn number 2. But they all managed to hang on to it. But Cody Voigt almost getting into the back bumper as we look at the number 21. And he's going to get tagged. The 5 of Spencer Dickinson is getting held up. He's going and trying to race for position. Same with Michael Ostdike here in the number 7 machine. He's trying to hang on to it, representing the Midwest Club. And you see how close the 21 is, and he'll get bumped, and surprisingly and very lucky that the back bumper did not get lifted off that 21 machine. Back up front to your lead, though, it's going to be still a 1-2 running between Del Campo and Burns. Really, none of them have... They're pretty much stalemate right now at this point, and they have no choice but to be stalemate. Especially when they're trying to navigate through lap traffic here. So we will see how this goes. And down to the inside, trying to look to the inside with Spencer Burns, but unfortunately it just was not going to work. He continues to look to the inside lane, and he might get side by side. He will not. And this is not going to be the opportune time for at least Del Campo. However, look at this. Spencer Burns trying to capitalize on the inside lane, and I don't think he's really going to have a choice in getting the inside lane versus staying back. So he'll have to be forced to stay back for the time being. At this point, he's trying to use the lap cars as a pick as we ride on board continuously here. Looking at your front 2 runners as they continue to make their way through the field down to the inside. I believe that's the 22, but I may be incorrect. It looks like Jeffrey Lydon, and it is, as he gets put well not down to underscoring. Look to the inside. It's going to be the number 1 Spencer Burns again, but still nothing doing. Burns trying to capitalize on the inside lane here, but I don't think it's going to work at all at this point. He's going to be in some really bad luck here if he cannot get to the inside. He's going to look to the inside again, and right now he might just be able to get it. But at the same time, it's both drivers loose off turn number 4. The 1 a little bit more than the 2. At this point, it's quite relatively, literally even between these 2 drivers. So we'll see how they handle the upcoming portions of this race. This time by is going to be halfway. 30 laps complete, 30 laps to go. We're going to go double wide for a little bit, but you aren't going to miss anything. Stay tuned because, again, top left-hand corner of your screen is where you will see this race play out. Don't go anywhere. This is the Racing Line Broadcasting Network bringing you the top split of the iRacing National Series. Back live here at South Boston Speedway. It is still Spencer Burns chasing down Nick Del Campo, as it has been for pretty much the entirety of this race. Welcome to the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. You're watching the top split of the iRacing National Series, the official series here on the iRacing service as well. So bringing this to you live as 20 laps remain, coming to 19 laps remaining at the start-finish line. And right now, still trying to chase down and get by, at least to the inside again, trying to get by Nick Del Campo is Spencer Burns. He gets to the back bumper that time around in turns 1 and 2, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the time being. These drivers have continuously battled with lap traffic throughout the entire event, and right now, well, they're kind of stuck, and Spencer Burns trying to look to the inside for using the lap cars to pick in the way, but he's only been able to get to the inside, at least by the back half of number 2's car, and unfortunately, I don't think it's really going to do too much. Unless the 2 gets loose just like that, and he immediately takes the defensive line, not only in recovery, but also in defense as well. And Spencer Burns right up on the back bumper as we ride on board here. And surprisingly, the 2 has not yet gotten loosened up there. 15 laps to go this time by the start-finish line, and right now, it's going to be something to really watch out for at this time. It's going to be the lap traffic up ahead of these guys with 15 to go, and the 1 of Spencer Burns is just hounding the back bumper of Del Campo. We haven't had any massive wrecks, only a few lone spins, and some drivers getting caught up in the lap traffic, getting put 1 lap down, as you can see on the timing tower on the right-hand side of your screen. Laps continue to tick down at 14 to go. Number 9 of Matthew Correa is in line to get lapped, to get put 1 lap down. Same with number 20 of Justin Gledhill. And the one thing that the front 2 runners, the 2 and the 1, do not want are those 2 to go side by side, because then no one would have anywhere to go. The 2 sends it down to the inside in turn number 3 of the lap car, and they will immediately and quite easily get by Spencer Burns on the inside lane, not having the entry that he wants for that corner. But Del Campo and Burns have been relatively similar on lap times. Both of their best laps, a 15.105 for Nick Del Campo, a 15.119 for the number 1 Spencer Burns, who continues to just lay on top of that back bumper. Will we see a bump and run, or will we see something like that? A little bit of interference from lap car unintentionally. That was number 20 of Gledhill. He got sent up the racetrack, but he is relatively okay. So it's just the tires wearing down at this point that are now playing into effect for this event. Riding onboard Spencer Burns again. Going to be looking off the back of Nick Del Campo here, as you see the 1 continuously peek to the inside lane. And right now, the only thing that Del Campo can hope for is not a caution, because, well, cautions aren't in this National Series. It's just at this point, just hold on, hope for the best, hope the tires make it to the end. And these 2 are continuing. This is going to be the 4th week in a row, it looks like right now. That will be the 4th week in a row that will have the top 2 finish within a second of each other. And it's quite impressive, the racing that these top splits can put on. As Spencer Burns was a little bit loose off turn number 4 that time by, but he does manage to hang on to it. 5 laps remaining this time by the start-finish line, and we will see how these final 5 laps will play out. Four laps, and it's Nick Del Campo facing a absolute horde of lap drivers in front of him, but all he has to do is just pretty much hit his marks and hope for the best, hope that he doesn't get loose off the corner like he does there. He doesn't get too loose, he does hang on to it. The 1 is looking for the back bumper. It's possible that we could see a bump and run, but really, we won't know entirely until the final lap. This is going to be 2 laps to go, and this is pretty much the best camera angle to look at. With 2 laps to go, and it's going to be the one just barely hitting the back bumper of Nick Del Campo, as the 2 had gotten loose in the middle of turns 1 and 2. For the time being, though, Del Campo manages to hang on, and it's going to be the white flag, this time by the final lap. The 2 of Del Campo is in the lead. The 1 of Spencer Burns in second place. He's been sitting in second place throughout this entire event, and he hits the wall of turn number 2. The 2 sends it to the inside of the lap car, the number 13, and it's going to be Nick Del Campo with the win off turn number 4 here at South Boston. Spencer Burns comes home second. Spencer Dickinson finishing in third. And the fireworks going off here at South Boston. And the race at this point is officially over. We're going to bring up your finishing results here for this event. Nick Del Campo comes home in first place. Spencer Byrne comes home second. Spencer Dickinson third. Fourth place, Alex Bisson. Fifth place is Jay Davison. Michael Ostdijk finishes in sixth. Seventh place, Eric Miller. Jeremy Rose rounds out eighth. Ninth place is Marco Pereira. And 10th place is Luke Ashton Jones. The rest of your field coming up in a couple of moments' time. In 11th, it is Joe Schoetmer, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Schoetmer, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Chris Evans finishes 12th. 13th is Matthew Correa. 14th, Justin Gledhill. 15th, Aaron Budka. 16th is going to be Matt Kingston. Cody Voigt finishes in 17th. 18th, Jeffrey Lydon. 19th, Mike Klein, and 20th is Eric Ramirez, with Chris Terrio, Joshua McLuhan, and Dave Nadeau rounding out the rest of your 23 car field here for tonight's event. We appreciate you tuning in here tonight to the Racing Line Broadcasting Network for the top split of the iRacing National Series. It was absolutely enjoyable. Unfortunately, Spencer Burns did not manage. He almost had the win multiple times. He almost had the inside lane, but unfortunately, that was not the case. And we have seen how that had played out. So we are going to go ahead and let you know about next week's event in just a couple of moments' time. But overall, not many big wrecks, and really just a couple lone spins, and that was it for this race. Really nothing too major in this event, and that is pretty much what we like to see. Next week we head to Dover Raceway, or Dover International Speedway, for 40 laps, middle of the day, early afternoon or so. And I am quite interested in seeing how that will play out. The Monster Mile is up next on the schedule at the same time, 12:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:45 p.m. all time, well, for the time being at least, if you are specifically in at least Arizona's Mountain Standard Time, where they do not do daylight savings. I may or may not be slightly biased with that. In all seriousness, though, 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be the time. If you want to know what that is in your time zone, if you're not entirely sure, well, type in 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time into your Google search, and it should automatically convert to your own time zone, pretty much not just the U.S., but wherever you are. So we appreciate you tuning in here for tonight's race. It was a pleasure to bring this to you as usual, and we hope to see you next time, next week, same time, just a different track. This has been the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. I have been Gary Weaver, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching, and good night from South Boston.